Some of you guys might look at a skill like the dip, which is a pushing skill, and go, well, that's nice, but I'm never going to have to do that, so why bother training for it? And I'll give you another perspective, is that if you ever have to push yourself up and out of something, like out of the water into a boat or out of a swimming pool, you're going to have the strength to push up and out of. And that's really where the dip comes in. Most people aren't strong enough just to start doing dips. There's lots of progressions, but just the good old dip. So you can kind of visualize, if I'm having to lift myself out of the water and up and into something, I'm going to need that strength. If you can do one, great. Of course, we work towards multiple reps at full range, because the other thing you don't want to get good at is, like, that's not a dip, and that's not going to get you out of trouble. This, from the depth of something, the ability to push up, that's going to get you out of trouble. So keep in mind when you're training, aim for full range, unless you're injured or something like that. Since that's not going to be level 1 for most folks, and it's certainly not here unless you're an advanced athlete, where do you start? So we'll start with getting you good at a variation of push-ups. So I'm just going to go straight to the real push-up, which is here, meaning not from the knees. It's just develop your basics. The ability to do a strong push-up. Because remember, dips not only require a lot of strength, but they require a lot of integrity through connective tissues, like the bicep tendon. Now, that's phase 1. Phase 2 would be a forward-leaning push-up or a planche push-up, where you get into a forward lean, you maintain that, going down and into it. That's a little bit more applicable to the dip, because you notice with the dip, it's not just vertical straight up down. It's vertical, but it's got a forward element to it. So that's where the forward-leaning push-up carries forward nicely. Then we get towards actual dip progression. So we're going to head back here to the benches and start with feet on floor. This is nice and easy, but stay true to the path of the dip by getting your butt down and underneath the bench, and then back up and full lockout at the top. So full range, get used to the shoulders, needing that mobility at the bottom. You notice how I kind of spend time there, and develop your strength endurance here first. Then we go feet up on bench, a little bit more difficult, and forces you to control more of your upper body as you continue to develop that dip path. Think butt kind of down and under the bench, full range, and back up. That'll give you plenty of stuff to work on as you go towards your full dip. After this, you'll typically do negatives. Negatives are the full emphasis on the lengthening phase of the dip, or the lengthening phase of any drill. That's what the negative is. These prepare you really nicely for the full thing. And it's the speed or the tempo that's really slowed down. So I'll just do a 5-second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll go a bit longer, 6, and then fully support yourself out of it and back up. So you ignore the concentric phase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth, until you're then back into the situation where you're working on full dips. Thank you. Rumor has it, if you can't go full range, you got a small dip.